guys, my Otsutsuki brethren, and welcome back to another video. It is I, Shinrayuki Otsutsuki, here with, as you can see, a new video. And as the title says, what if Izuku Midoriya was Acnologia? Okay, so the way this is going to happen is that Inko was a dragon slayer, but she kept it a secret because of the fact that Hisashi was a dragon hunter. Hisashi was born in a family of hunters, which hunts only three families know of dragon slayers: the Midoriya family, Hisashi's family, the Midoriya family, which is Hisashi's family, Inko and her mother, and the Ryoko's family. The Ryoko's family followed a traditional history that says in ancient Mandalian writings that deku deku developed from the ancient dragons of the past. So they highly believed and worship dragons, as they know that there are only a handful of dragons left and they're going to die pretty soon. So, and these dragons that are left are the fire dragon, the iron dragon, the sky dragon, the holy dragon, and also sh- the holy dragon, and also Acnologia himself, the dragon king himself. So, we'll we start off with where Izuku was being born, as Inko was hoping that Izuku would have managed to inherit all her all fraud labor. Inko was praying that is when Izuku would be able to inherit her Dragon Slayer magic, even though it's only a lacrima she has implanted into her. A lacrima of the Dragon King implanted into her from her mother. Izuku is born with long blue hair, well, not long, blue hair with, basically he has that markings on his face, just like Acnologia. As Inko would notice this, and Inko would have a smile on her face, but sadly, after giving birth, all her magical power was extracted from her through Izuku, and she'd pass away. Hisashi knowing Hisashi would then Hisashi would then come. Oh shit, fuck. Hisashi, fuck. We skip a few hours after the childbirth. Hisashi would be called in, and Hisashi would be told that Inko passed away, not without anyone not knowing the reason why after childbirth. Hisashi would then go on and inspect the body and inspect the body with his child in his arms, and then he would sense a huge amount of magical power being pulled off from Inko's body, continuously being pulled off from Inko's body into Izuku. As he would sense that magical power was Dragon Slayer's magical power, and he would thought that there were no more Dragon Slayers left, and to be more exact, his wife was a Dragon Slayer. So then he also thought that his son Izuku was a Dragon Slayer, as he knows how his family are technically old time traditioners, that they follow the old time traditions. No matter if your child is a Dragon Slayer, they kill Dragon Slayers. They kill Dragon Slayers and dragons. They find them a burden. Even though we are currently in the hero society, they know that some dragons manage to integrate, using huge amount of magical powers to integrate their souls into the bodies of people up until the point they are reborn again. So, what Hisashi would do is that after leaving the hospital, Hisashi would go on and Hisashi would go on and Hisashi would head to his home and begin. Hisashi would head to his home and pack his stuff and then head into a forest. As the head into a forest, as he as a year and 3 months would pass, as Izuku is now currently 2 years and 2 years 3 months old. Izuku finally started speaking and finally started displaying huge forces of magical power that would cover huge scales of land, huge land masses, and Everyone could have felt it. Everyone in Ryoko's family who has the dragon quirk was capable of feeling you that intimidating forces. All the current dragon slayers who are the current age, who is currently Izuku's age right now, could feel it. But all the dragons, sorry to be more exact, because the dragon slayers are still young, so they won't be able to really sense it. But all the dragons are capable of feeling that magical force, especially Acnologia. Ac- Also, especially one dragon. Fuck. Yeah, especially Acnologia. As Acnologia would release, have a smile on his face. Not the dragon exactly. As he'd have a smile on his face. As the dragon would have a smile onto his face, releasing off a roar that could be heard from that could be heard miles away from his cave. As then Izuku would begin to laugh. As after that, Hisashi would hear that roar, and Izuku would begin to laugh, giggling as Hisashi would just shrug it off, his not knowing what's going on. Later that later during the fourth month, Hisashi would get later during the fourth month, Hisashi would get a knock on his door. As he would open the door and see now, quick thing. Hisashi currently left the city and went to stay in the forest in order to in order to try and keep Izuku a secret. He went to stay off into the forest and to keep the whole fact that his wife was a dragon slayer and all of that. Now continue back. He said as he would open the door, he would be held at gunpoint as he would say, Hisashi, where is the brat? As Hisashi would say, what do you mean, father? Don't play stupid with me, young man. Where is the dragon slaying brat? I have no idea what you mean, Dad. You really don't have no idea what I mean, huh? Why don't we go outside and have a little chat, don't you say? Okay. As Hisashi would look back, as Hisashi would look back and close the door, as he would then step outside with with guns, countless men with guns, as Hishashi's father would tell him, we could do this two ways. You tell me what a brat is, and we shall live your life. You have nothing to worry about. You could go back living your life into this carbon if you would wish. Or you don't tell us what a brat is, and we kill both you, and we eventually get the brat and kill him too. As is, I should go on to ask, what do you mean, father? You're still trying to play stupid with me here, boy? You think we don't know that your wife, the reason why she died was because her magical power was extracted from that lacrima in her into that brat, making that brat a dragon slayer. Now Hisashi, I'm going to ask you one more damn time. Where the fuck is the brat? As Hisashi would begin to run, as Hisashi would roundhouse kick his, as Hisashi would roundhouse kick his father into the into the ribcage and run off into the forest. The father will then tell the father will tell the man to chase him, kill him if you must. As the father would then step into the cabin, as he'll go, is as the father would then go, Izuku my boy, where are you? Come say hi to grandpa. Izuku my boy, where are you? As it searched the entire cabin, no one to be found, we cut back into the point of Hisashi running as he'd been shot twice in his arm, one in his shoulder and one in his lower arm, as his arm would be bleeding, being limped and he would be shot once again, once in the leg, but still he would continue going and with his last words being, as he would fall off, as he would fall down a little, as he would fall and roll down a little sledge as he would be shot one more time, directly in the abdomen. As all Hisashi could think of is the fact that Izuku will be safe. His one and only, his one and only son. No matter if he loves him so much, no matter if he's a dragon slayer or not. As Izashi would have been killed on the spot right away, the men would then head back as they wouldn't have found him. The men would have then head back as they would have kicked his body off lower down the ledge, down a mountain into a river. As we cut back with the grandfather, the men would have returned back to the cabin to find the cabin being burnt down. As they ask, "Hey, old man, found a kid?" As he would say, "No, he must have prepared. Izashi must have sent the kid off somewhere. We must have prepared for this." As we cut with the point of Izuku being as Izuku is being as Izuku is what the fuck? As Izuku is gripped on tightly onto a tail of a creature of a lizard-like creature, a very large. Just from the point of the tail itself, the creature looked large. As the creature would then crawl back into a cave with Izuku latching onto him. No one knows what that creature is. With as Izuku would look up, as the dragon would oh fuck, as the dragon would release a one more roar, as Izuku would try to release a roar, but a cute little childish roar. The dragon would then have a smile onto his face as he would lay Izuku down underneath his wing and cover and shelter Izuku. As we cut back with the as we cut back with the hunters, they would be searching the entire forest, trying to find out where the kid is. They'd use dragon slayer weapons which could hunt down dragon slayers wherever they are. But luckily Acnologia had prepared for this as he would place a barrier. The instant he covered Izuku the instant he laid his wing over Izuku's young body, he placed a barrier over the entire cave, protecting the two of them. As the, a few months would pass, as a few more months would pass, as the hunters would have forgotten they'd expect the child to be dead already. As Izuku is now 3 years old, due to his high intelligence, Izuku is perfectly capable of speaking right now, but walking is not quite that he isn't capable of quite walking quite yet. As even though he wasn't quite capable of quite walking yet, Acnologia did not have much time to wait for the boy to be able to probably grow up and be quite proficient in walking and stuff, to be able to begin teaching him what he's capable of doing. That Acnologia would have begun starting off with the basic stuff. By telling Izuku all the endless capabilities that he's capable of having as the Dragon King. Izuku would be fascinated at Izuku would be fascinated at this as a child and would be quite would then start oh my god would then start learning the abilities underneath Acnologia. Even though his body wasn't strong enough to display them quite yet, he still memorized all of them, learned quite all of them, and he knew what to do with them. As an as a Dragon King, Izuku had been an elemental Dragon Slayer, meaning he is capable of using all of the elements, all Dragon Slayer elements. As Acnologia himself would be surprised at this, thinking that the last Dragon King before him wasn't capable of separating the different elements on their own, like singular individual Dragon Slayers. He was mainly capable of he was just capable of releasing each and every one. He was, she, to be more exact, she and he were just capable of just releasing of pure magical power. As Izuku would as would skip to 3 more years, Izuku would now be 8 years old. Izuku would have gotten down mostly all the basics down, and he would have already been able to transform partial parts of his body into dragon body parts as he wishes. As Acnologia would find this kid to be a prodigy, and he would take quite a liking to him. As both Izuku had also been taken quite a liking to Acnologia. Although he raised up although Izuku knew although Izuku has vague memories of his father and none of his mother, he admired Acnologia to the point that he'd call him either mother or father. As that would have warmed up That would have warmed up the heart of the dragon, the fearless, cold-hearted Dragon King, to the point it would make him seem sort of weak. But he only showed that affection towards Izuku, as he knew that his time was almost near for him to leave this world. His time was almost near for all his magical power to be lifted, to leave his body, as he already had a plan. At first, he was just going to allow it to leave his body, and whoever gained his magical power gained it whatsoever. But now he has a perfect, solid proof plan in order to disperse his magical power perfectly. Oh boy. 8-year-old Izuku would would often leave the cave once in a while, as Acnologia wouldn't have really worried about that. Actually, Acnologia actually tries to get him to leave the cave more often, as Izuku been as Izuku really did not want to leave. A young as one day uh, as he one day uh, as one day an 8-year-old Izuku would be heading back towards the cave from hunting. As soon as he entered the cave, he would take the scent of a lifeless body, as he would run into the cave, seeing the lifeless dragon laying as he would see the Dragon King laying there, lifelessly on the verge of death. As Izuku would begin to freak out and say, Dad, are you alright? As Acnologia would say, I'm sorry, brat. It looks like this is the end for me. But before I leave this world, I have one more gift to you. As he would say, what is it? As he as Acnologia would raise up his claw and chant out as he would chant out words and say, no fuck. As he chant out one more thing, as he would say, I Acnologia, the dragon amongst all dragons, the king amongst all kings, gra- pray for my last wish to be granted, that every last drop of my magical power shall be seeped into this child, my successor for my magical prowess, the next Dragon King. As his body would begin to fade away, as Izuku could feel a sense of huge magical, as all the dragons in the area could sense huge magical powers radiating from a certain point, as all of us in the instant that magical power would just disperse and then rebuild into one certain point, as it would just begin to flow into Izuku's body, as Izuku would feel a rush of that magical power. And that's where we're going to leave off. If you guys like the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Bye.